of course desaturating will be it. Now the pen tool is how I made this logo. Now if you thought I made this logo using the brush tool, getting a small little thing, and actually let's try that out now. Make a small little logo there. And as you see, I'm absolutely horrible. I'm the one that made this logo. See? Now this is how you do it in Paint, but this is Photoshop, so we're not doing it like this. Let's remove that. Now using the pen tool gives you either way. Let's draw an arc using the pen tool. You click one point, and then let's click a point over here. Now you can stretch this out. But when you click, you gotta keep holding it, or else, you lose it. So keep holding it, and then using that thing, extending these out, creates arc. If you extend that out in the middle of the line, as I have it right now, you see it? Not the one that has my cursor, but the opposite side. If it's the middle, then the arc will be even as we go on. But you want to be careful not to extend too much, because even though it's in the middle sometimes, it's going to have too much of a curve. So you want to be careful of that. Alright. And if you're wondering how I made this dynamic curve, that's for having this. Now this is an extra little helper. Now if I just click here, you notice it didn't make a straight line. It curved over there. And that is because of this right here. This will just curve it. It'll make it go with the flow, which is useful sometimes, and sometimes it's quite annoying. All you need to do to remove this is hold Alt, and then you see the cursor change. You click it and drag it right over there, and then boom, you won't have the problem. But let's have that up, and let's do a little thing. Now click it and let's drag it. Now you see we got a nice little curve, sort of like here. And this is a contradiction, because this is going that way, this wants to go that way, and this wants to go that way. So we get this nice curve that goes with the flow, which is really useful. We'll learn more about the pen tool later on though. Alright. Now here are other samples, and again we're going to learn about this later as well. The convert point, I just recently showed you that. Now a text tool is adding a text to an image. Now no, it's not like Word, it's not like Microsoft Word. So don't expect it to be that advanced and such, because it's not. But yes, you do have a huge selection of samples right here, of text. Right here. You get to choose a pixel of it. You have the basic pixels, or use this. I typically use this unless I want a standard size pixel. But alright, let me show you something. Let's put the. Now, maybe I want this. Let's highlight this. Maybe I want this a little bit bigger. Now you see I can just dynamically change it like that. And once you size it up, once you blow it up, you see the pixels is still going to be nice and crisp, which is really nice. And of course, if you use Microsoft Word, you'll know that, of course. Now you can change the color of this, and you can change the alignment, and you can do some other stuff. Now if you want to make a black stroke later on, we're going to do that on later, but for now let's just leave it on the basics. So let's just delete this. Alright, now this path selection tool is quite useful. I'm just being an idiot, sort of getting too used to Illustrator. Alright, well I'll teach you this later then. But right now let's go to here. This is the tool section. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, let's continue. Now this is just making a rough image. Now I really never use this. I might have used a line tool. I don't know. But you can make like a thing. It will be solid. And as you see, it has a stroke there. But if you really want to make something like this, make that. Get the paint tool, and then, well, we can do it here. And then boom, you have your square. So, but don't get me wrong. Let's remove this first. This is useful in some cases, but in our case, it's not useful. Alright, now this is the hand tool. We'll zoom in here so we can. Now you see the scroll bars. Instead of just constantly scrolling to get to a specific image, like want to get to the side, or not, now you want to get to the other side, you can use the scroll thing. Just dynamically, move throughout the document. Now it's also a pain to just keep coming here when we're working with a document and then clicking this. If you hold the space bar, you see the cursor just automatically changes to it, and then you can just move it. So that's a really useful feature. I hardly ever click on this. I just use the space bar, and I actually move a lot, and you probably notice that in my tutorials. And this is a zoom tool. Of course, you can zoom in. If you want to zoom out though, hold Alt, and now you see it turns to a minus sign. You click it, and then it goes back. Now over here on the left side, right here, we can see the zoom ratio. Right now we're zoomed in 100%. So if this image was on the web, this is the size they'll be seeing. Now right now it's a little too big, so all we need to do is just back up, and we're at 66.67% zoomed out. They don't do 50% because that's a little bit too much. Usually people would want a little bit more zoomed in, not too much, and so that's a really good selection tool. Alright. So now we covered all of these. Now let's move on to the right.